See me, they don't like me because I'm gonna be a straight. I'm a straight shooter, and I was able to become my own boss.
Oh man, you know how I get. They love you and then they hate you.
The game is to dish it out and not take it, and then when your career is over, take your money. These people don't give a f about these people don't give a f about us.
Floyd Mayweather explained his belief that Gervonta Mayweather stressed that fighters need to prepare for life outside of the ring, and Davis's career is done. He also revealed that he had cautioned Davis about the reality of boxing.
You know, so I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know, Gamboa. Like, those aren't the fights that we...
Even though Davis is one of the most talented boxers of his generation, his problems have been a recurrent theme that has raised concerns about his long-term success. Throughout his career, Davis has encountered numerous arrests and legal battles that have made headlines for incidents outside the ring.
Recently, Tank Davis decided to upload this on his Instagram. I'm not sure what's wrong with Tank Davis. I don't know what legal issues he's having because he has a hearing close. I'm not sure when the date is, but him and Floyd Mayweather have always had this weird relationship where sometimes Tank doesn't seem to be in good terms, and then sometimes they are in good terms. The energy is off. Let me know what you guys think that post means, what he's going through. I hope he's doing good because we want him to fight, and we want him to fight really good opposition. So let me know what you guys think. What's going on with Tank?
He has also had personal disagreements with prominent figures in the boxing world, such as Floyd Mayweather. These public feuds and controversies have frequently overshadowed his in-ring accomplishments, leading many to question his discipline and decision-making. Gaining control over his own career may have sounded like a wise option, but Davis' decision...
Box, turn. The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is not slugging, because when the fight game is over, when boxing is all over, and you hang it up like me, you still want to be able to have your faculties. You still want to be able to have your brain. That's more important than anything. The money. Your health is more important than anything. The name of the game is to hit and not get hit. And I was the best at doing it, and I'm going to continue to teach these young fighters. The name of the game is to...
To leave Floyd Mayweather's promotion was one of the most contentious of his career. Many contend that Davis might have negotiated the boxing world more skillfully with Mayweather's knowledge and advice. As a boxing legend, Mayweather understood the business side of the sport and had built his empire.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds. But if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in those later rounds. But he's very stiff, and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds. But if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him.
In 2024, Gervonta Davis reached new heights in his career. His unbeaten record solidified his status as a top-tier boxer, and his star power was undeniable despite his success. His performances inside the ring captivated fans, and his popularity soared to unprecedented levels. Davis has come under fire from certain boxing commentators and supporters.
So Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach goes to a majority decision draw, with Tank retaining his WBA lightweight title. Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach 4 the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach 1 more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. Lamont Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. Landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. He definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Raya Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight.
Skeptics point out that he does not regularly face the best competition in his division, leading many to believe that his record is impressive on paper, but lacks real challenges against top-tier opponents, making his dominance somewhat misleading. Some contend that he is overrated, particularly among casual fans who may not fully understand the technical aspects of the sport.
Well-being as well as your boxing progress, who you have been invested with from the outset. Tank has been with Coach Calvin Ford since he was, I think 8 or 9, which is crazy. And the relationship that those two have is an enormous factor. Tank trusts Coach Calvin to give him the right advice, and that has been proven to be a good position, a good place to put your trust, because as of yet, he hasn't given any bad advice. He's very calm in the corner. He knows when to tell Tank to turn it up. He gives him understandable advice, and he gives him very simple advice in the corner. At the gym, he obviously works him hard. He gets the best out of him, and I think that's the kind of thing that you can't oversell the value of that. Bomac for Crawford is an example of.
The caliber of Davis's opponents is a primary point of criticism. Although this is a common boxing tactic to protect a fighter's marketability, analysts claim that Davis's team has carefully chosen fights that favor him and steer clear of the most dangerous opponents. This has raised doubts about whether Davis is actually being tested at the highest level, as fans have been eager to see him take on more difficult opponents.
I'm the reason he got signed to Team 2.
That's a true story. Explain that. Why? How did that happen? Story.
I brought him to the gym with an AB shirt on.
Ooh, true story.
But I didn't have everything right yet. Everything wasn't moving yet. I was a little slow on my feet. So I gave him the floor. Every time we bring it up, Floyd like, "Thank you, AB. You gave me a good one."
And I just want to say thank you to Adrian Broner, because Adrian Broner brought Tank back to me. I met him when he was a kid, but then Adrian Broner, I want to say thank you to Adrian, because Adrian is the one that brought Tank to me.
However, many believe that Davis's resume lacks defining victories against the best fighters in his division. Following his fight against Lamont Roach, Davis received harsh criticism for failing to secure a knockout, and many expected Tank to dominate Davis. However, some questioned Davis's performance because he was able to outlast his opponent and make the fight competitive.
I respect him, and I won't say I respect him. I appreciate him. I appreciate him for what he done, because he did, he did help me out. He definitely helped me out, but it was more so he would say that he gave me money to get my mom out the hood, but me being from the hood, 10, 15,000, that's not, after a couple months, she gonna be back in the hood, and I'm gonna be back asking you for money. Nah, why would I do that? I give her a couple dollars. I take some, whatever, whenever you need some money, You feel me? But when I was legit to be able to get out the hood, that's what I did.
Like, I had to learn that coming up that, like, a motherfucker will put you in a position to always need him. And, like, to the world, it might look like that's a great person. But, like, to somebody to understand, you understand, like, what Kendrick Lamar say? Nah, that's a master manipulator. Like, because if I got to put you in a position that always need me, you always got to, I'm going to just give you crumbs. And we hear it a lot. Like, if I'm a billionaire, if I'm a millionaire, nigga, what's $1,000? You know what I'm trying to say? But to you who don't have it, is a lot. And I know you going to go to war for that $1,000. So me understanding that, $48 of plot power, I'm going to always feed you a little bit so you can be excited and do just enough to come back around.
But I ain't really, it's put me in a position to be able to, you know, make my own thing. And I don't want to say no name, but they wind up catching it. The people that's over top of me, I mean, like, I was signed to him, and Floyd signed to him. So the person that, he said, okay, cool, I see what's going on. That's when he started taking over my career.
They pointed out that a real elite fighter should have been able to stop a smaller opponent. And this battle revealed some of Davis's flaws. Another lightweight sensation, Ryan Garcia, offered his thoughts on Davis's contentious 9th round incident against Lamont Roach. Garcia contended that Davis's knee should have been declared a knockdown in accordance with boxing regulations. His remarks fueled further discussion about the fight's officiating.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. How the say Terrence Crawford should fight Benavidez? That don't make no fucking sense. He don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
Who's next in line? Just so you're next in line.
Is there like a
the last question, guys, that are right there.
Is there like a love-hate though? Like,
yeah,
love the fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And
you're good, man.
And he because I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this, I'm.
And whether Davis profited from a favorable decision. Following his fight against Roach, many fans started to doubt whether Davis is as skilled as he is frequently portrayed. Seeing a relatively unknown fighter challenge him raised questions about his readiness and ability to handle top competition, raising expectations that he would dominate. But instead, they witnessed a competitive fight that revealed potential. Weaknesses in Davis's game? This incident further heightened the demand for a rematch.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really trying to be in this too much longer. That's the answer right there for you.
How old are you now? 28?
28.
Yeah. How much longer are you expecting to do it?
Once I get them guys out of there, I'm gone.
Is that right? Let's say like 30-ish, something like that? Why do you want to get out so soon?
I want to just help people that's coming behind me. I feel as though that's more important. Future.
Is that why you got Lamont Peterson and Anthony on this card?
They was before me, but they're trying to do my good deeds. I feel as though it's something that's installed in me. There's loyalty. I feel as though that's something that people are missing out here. I feel as though if you're in a position to help somebody, help them for the right reason.
In the corner, Davis could be seen yelling at his instructor Calvin Ford, while Ford tried to wipe his perspiration from his face and give him advice. This conversation prompted questions about Davis's attitude and his capacity for following instructions. Davis interjected, stating, "You need to stop and listen to me."